They say the night shift is quiet, peaceful, but that silence, it hides things. Ask any night worker, a janitor, a nurse, a gas station clerk. They'll tell you the graveyard shift changes everything. The air gets heavier, time slows, and sometimes you're not as alone as you think. These are 5 real stories, told by those who lived through the darkness and barely made it out. Stay until the end, because the last story, it's one no night shift worker ever forgets. They say I used to work security at a distribution warehouse. Big place, rows of shelves, forklifts parked like dead beasts. My job was to walk the floor every hour and report if anything seemed off. One night around 3:12 a.m. I heard knocking. Slow, deliberate. Coming from the break room freezer door. Now the break room had one of those walk-in freezers, but no one was inside. I had checked it during my last round. I approached. The knock came again, 3 times. I opened the door. Nothing. Just frozen. Air and cold silence. I shut it, shrugged it off, and turned to leave. Knock, knock, knock. This time it came from the inside again, even though the door was wide open. I backed away, heart racing. I radioed my partner in the control room, but there was no response. I ran upstairs and only to find the monitor screens all static, except one. The break room camera was still on. It showed me, standing in the break room. Only, I wasn't alone. Behind me, a pale figure, tall, barefoot, its hand raised toward the camera, knocking. I turned around in real life. Nothing there. Just silence again. I quit the next morning. That footage, it disappeared. They told me I must have imagined it, but I still hear the knocking. Sometimes, even when I'm not at work. I worked at a 24-hour gas station off Highway 9. Most nights were dead quiet, except that one night at 2:44 a.m. a man walked in. He looked wrong. Pale skin, wet hair, barefoot. He didn't say a word, just walked to the fridge, took out a single bottle of water, and placed it $20 on the counter. I rang it up, gave him change. He didn't move. Just stared at me. Then he said, "Don't go outside when the humming starts," and left. I stepped out to see where he went. But the lot was empty. No cars, no footprints. Then I heard it. A low, electrical hum, coming from the woods behind the station. The hum got louder. Lights in the station began flickering. Then they all went out. I locked the doors, ducked behind the counter. The hum kept growing, almost vibrating the floor. Then I saw it. A figure standing at the edge of the woods. Tall, head tilted, just standing there, watching. After maybe a minute, the hum vanished. Lights came back on. The figure was gone. In the morning, I told my boss. She paled. Said a man fitting that exact description died years ago. Right there in the parking lot. He'd been electrocuted trying to steal copper wire, and every few months, he returns. I was a night janitor at a corporate office downtown. One of the execs told me about the elevator game. You press certain floor buttons in a sequence, and supposedly, you can travel to a different dimension. I didn't believe in that crap. So I tried it. 2, 4, 6, 2, 10, 5, 1. At first, nothing happened. Then the elevator stopped at the 5th floor. Doors opened, pitch black. But this was a floor that was always brightly lit. This wasn't normal. I reached for the door close button, but something stepped into the elevator. Tall, hair covering its face, barefoot. It didn't look at me, just stood facing the corner. I hit every floor button in panic, but the elevator didn't move. The thing in the corner whispered, "Wrong floor." The lights flickered. I closed my eyes, and when I opened them, I was alone. Back on the lobby floor, the janitor cart still, where I left it. But my phone? The time was 4:44 a.m. 2 hours had passed. I checked the security footage later. The camera showed me entering the elevator, but never leaving. Night shift nurse, ER unit. Room 9 was always empty after midnight due to maintenance. We kept it that way. Except on April 3rd, we heard a call bell from room 9. Confused, I checked the board. No one assigned there. The bell rang again. I opened the door. A woman was lying in the bed, wearing a patient gown from decades ago. She smiled and said, "I'm ready for my release." I blinked. She was gone. I checked the records. A woman had died in that room in 1974. Same face, same smile. We started calling it the 9th. And now, every April 3rd, the call bell rings, always the same time, always the same request. And if you ignore it, someone on staff ends up in the ER themselves. We don't ignore it anymore. Underground parking garage. I work nights, managing entry logs. One night I heard banging below level B4. There is no level B4. But the elevator went there anyway. I wrote it down. When the doors opened, I saw a long concrete tunnel, lit by flickering bulbs. A man stood at the end, waving me forward. I stepped out. But the elevator doors slammed shut, and the lights went out. All I had was the sound of bare feet running toward me. The humming kept growing. It wasn't just a sound anymore. It was something I could feel in my teeth, like standing too close to a generator. The lights inside the gas station flickered wildly, then went completely dark. Total blackout. No buzz from the fridge, no soft hum of the AC, nothing. Just that horrible droning noise from the woods. I ducked behind the counter, heart racing. My fingers trembled as I reached for my phone. Dead. Battery full earlier, now completely lifeless. Peeked over the counter and looked through the front window. And that's when I saw it. A figure, standing at the edge of the tree line. Not moving, not swaying, just watching. It looked like a man, maybe 6 feet tall, dressed in something loose, almost like hospital scrubs. But its head, it was tilted sideways, like it was broken. And even from that distance, I could see its mouth, wide open, like it was screaming silently. But the humming, it was coming from him. It wasn't mechanical, it was human. The humming was his voice. He took one step forward. I didn't wait for another. I ran to the office, slammed the door shut, and pushed the file cabinet in front of it. I sat there in the dark for what felt like an eternity, every second stretching longer than the last. Eventually, the humming stopped. Dali. Power came back. Lights flickered on. When I stepped out, he was gone. Just the empty lot, as if nothing had ever happened. The next day, I told my manager everything. She didn't laugh. She didn't act surprised. She told me the same thing happened to the night guy before me, right down to the time, 2:44 a.m. He quit without notice. I didn't quit. I lasted another 2 weeks before the humming came back. That time, it was louder, closer. So I walked out and never went back. Now, I don't go near woods after dark. And every time my phone glitches at 2:44 in the morning, I wonder if he's found me again. If stories like this keep you up at night, like the video, share it with someone who works the night shift. And don't forget to subscribe. Because the darkness, it's just getting started.